Hello, Nemesis here. So, yeah, yesterday's video, I think, whatever. Yesterday's video was kind of choppy because I finished Notes on the Ground. That's by Dostoevsky, whatever his name is. I really liked it. I made a short video on it, but I recorded it on my iPad, so I didn't know apparently recording on your iPad for YouTube doesn't grant you audio from your microphone. So that's that. But today I finished something else, so I'll talk about that instead. I won't bore you with me talking about Russian literature. Well, I do want to talk about it, but I think the words of thousands of other people that actually have better critical skills than me can probably say it better than I do. But not much can say about what I just finished right now. Get that honeymoon phase thoughts out the way. So I finished Sugaru Miaki's first part of his duology, the place you called from. Heads up, I think this is the worst Sugaru Miaki novel I've read so far. I've read 3 Days of Happiness, I've read Starting Over, and I've read Pain Pain Go Away. I think those 3 are pretty exceptional as light novels. I like them for different things. There's obviously one I like a lot better. I've said in my Starting Over video. I still think those 3 are phenomenal light novels. I think perhaps because I hold Sugaru Miaki in such a high regard, it's precisely because why I do not think The Place You Called From is something exceptional. I think it's a decent mystery romance, but I also just don't think it's a laid back. It doesn't have much of that oomph it does have to it to other Sugaru Miaki novels, and I mean it's a very mild story. So I guess probably not a lot of people have read it, but I'll give a short recap. So basically, this kid, his name is Yosuke Fukamichi, or something, and he has a really nasty birthmark on his left side. I think I forget, but whatever. He's a really nasty birthmark, and one day he gets a mysterious call saying, "You want your birthmark removed?" He's like, "Yeah, hell yeah!" And then he gets it removed, and it suddenly changes. Not much, really. He just gets his birthmark removed, but then this girl he likes, this girl has given him a lot of peace, a lot of friendship and solace during the time he had the birthmark. Suddenly she has a birthmark. Oh, it sets up this kind of conflict between them. So my problem with this book is that it takes. So this first parter is 190 pages, and for a light novel, it's not a lot because light novels don't have that hard of prose to read, compared to Notes on the Ground and any of Sugaru Miyagi's novels. Dostoevsky obviously is a better writer. I'm just kidding. Dostoevsky, he writes in a more I suppose literary way because the guy's a, how do you say it? I won't say he's a better writer because of that. I think again, first of all, comparing apples to oranges. I mean, they are quite similar, but you also comparing a literary legend to another literary legend is whatever. I don't think light novels are meant to have especially in translation, they don't have that complex of prose precisely because even if there was complex prose in Japanese, I don't think it would transfer well anyways. But the style of Sugaru Miaki that I've read, it is quite simple. It is not a very hard read in any single way. I think The Place You Called From is a really, really easy read. It flows like a normal romance. It's cool. Dare I say a generic romance, but it has a little touch of self-loathing, there, a little wishful thinking there, a little suicide. That's a bit there, but yeah. It's just over the span of 190 pages, not a lot of things happen, and I usually wouldn't have a problem with that, but because the characters are in high school, I really don't care what happens. Fukamichi's walking around. He used to be a delinquent, but now he's not. So you're just telling me genuinely him being a normal high school kid. Again, in any other situation, I'd like it, but in this case, it's literally played straight. It's literally played straight. It's just being a normal high school student. I don't think that's the conversations are written in a charming way, but they just don't interest me in a way any of Sugaru Miyagi's previous novels have. It's just it's I wouldn't say not generic. It's just very like uneventful, very very uneventful. Especially like even in the characters' thoughts, which is like to me, it's not like portraying an idyllic like life is bad. It's just nothing's going on, and especially the setting has nothing going for it for me. It really in the place you call from, there's nothing going on. It's just a high school and like a place that likes mermaids or something, such and such. Not that much. I think it's just not very. It's not an extreme kind of novel. It's all right. It really just feels like a random like romance novel you would pick up and it's like, oh, this has pretty good writing. But it's not. I don't think it's like a peak Sugaru Miaki novel. It's just an alright novel. At least for the first part, that talks about some kind of topics about just like self-loathing and like what you have to do to what would you do to like get rid of your physical obstacles or something. But yeah, I'll say my favorite part is there's this one character, Chigusa Oyu, whatever her name. Like I think she had a nice little dynamic with the main character, and then she like, but it's really sudden. So Fukamichi gets into this fight with like three dudes, one dude from middle school, and they obviously like he's not winning this, but then he sees his classmate like walking over there. He's like, so he suddenly like smacks the shit out of the gang, the main gang ringleader, and then suddenly it's really funny because he thinks, oh no, Chigusa just saw me doing something very delinquent. She's gonna hate me. She's gonna my whole perception of her, her whole perception of me is gonna come down falling, and that's good because by the time the bet runs out, and I die and disappear, she's gonna be so alright with it, and then suddenly like, no, the twist is that oh actually Chigusa likes him. No shit, like come on. It was pretty obvious that the one female classmate he always talks to, always listens to him, likes him, but it's like, and she asks her, Fukamichi, I want you to make me a bad girl. That's literally the line, and then they start doing like delinquent things together, like underage drinking, smoking, playing pranks on their ops, and swimming naked in the school pool while setting off fireworks. Like this one was literally just it was a very similar scene. Like they basically jumped in the pool and they started like calling each other's first name. I'm like, okay, all right, I like this character. But again, that was like the last 20 pages of the novel. I do not think Sugaru Miaki is at his best potential when he's running a two-parter. And this is the only two-parter he's written, I think, possibly. So I guess that goes to show his strengths and weaknesses as a writer, right? So I guess some writers aren't built for long-form things. Like how this is way shorter than him. That's on the ground. But again, very comparable two books. I'm not gonna go comparing like all of Sugaru Miaki to discuss because I think Sugaru Miaki himself, has read a fair bit of Dostoevsky. You can kind of tell, but overall, just to say, A Place You Call From, the first part, it's alright. Like, I don't like to rank things on a number scale, but I just think it's like alright. Mediocre is like a strong word, but also I'll just say better than average. But I don't really know what an average like romance novel feels like. Maybe like a Makine, but I never even finished Makine. Like that's something like I just don't like think I absolutely need to read. But so Sugaru Miyaki's The Place You Call From. If you really like slower romance, I recommend you. And for fans of Sugaru Miaki, obviously I tell you to read this book. But I just want to tell you, it's not that special. It's just a slow burn like mystery romance, and that's all it is. I think it's all right. It's not terrible at all. The writing is pretty good. It's just nothing special, and it's fine. I've yet to read like the afterword for the story, I'll just treat this story as like a really long Sugaru Miaki story. But yeah, I am I am a little disappointed how it turned out, but it is what it is. I think for you to really evaluate an offer, you have to know which one of his stories are like not as good, or even which parts of his story is not as good. Sugi Maki, great writer again, but really likes repeating the same tropes, or like the same patterns in the stories, which is a okay. But I guess I have to see the second part of the story, see how it ends. Right now, I think it wrapped up in a very okay way. I generally don't see how this will be dragged out to like another 180 pages. But who knows? It might be really boring for me, or it might like really just save the day. But I will likely read Parasite in Love next. I think that one's an interesting read. I read the manga for that one, but the novel was obviously gonna be a little different. Yeah, that's it. Get your reading done. Get your reading done, people. Be it light novels, actual novels, visual novels are not literature, but they are pretty valid. But it's in such. Have a great day. This is the place I'm calling from. My room.